Hello, everyone, and welcome to Go Watch a Movie, episode 94. I'm Kelvin.
And I'm Robert.
That was not Bruce Lee. That was me getting ready to kick some ass because today we are tackling the art of self-defense. Little Jesse Eisenberg movie. But before we get into that, a little bit of entertainment news. All right, sir. So first things first, we got to give it a round of applause, a big round of applause to the mighty Avengers Endgame. It is officially the highest grossing movie of all time.
There it is.
Which is saying so. A comic book movie, not Citizen Kane, not Casablanca, not Titanic, a freaking comic book movie where the villain is a big purple dude with a glowing fist. Like, that blows my mind, man. It's what can you say about it? I mean, that's just amazing.
It is amazing, but I think that's the trick to it, or the secret behind that success was the build up. Years and years and movies of a build up. So I think that's why it was so successful.
Kind of a cheat code, would you say?
A kind of a what?
Like cheat code, would you say?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, because it was 10 years worth of this is what we're ending on, and they re-released it.
yeah, that doesn't hurt.
Which type or not? Well, yeah, Avatar got re-released once or twice, but anyway, I just thought that deserved a accolade because that's a huge deal, highest grossing movie ever. But on to the next thing. So this has been bugging the heck out of me. James Bond 25 is coming out. Daniel Craig's returning, and it got released that there will be a female taking over the moniker of 007. Now, this news has been reported so wrongly on so many shows that I listen to, and it's pissed me off to no end. So clear in the air right now, she is not going to be Jane Bond. She's not going to be Joan Bond or any of that shit. She's getting the moniker of 007, which is a number assigned to the agents. Like there's a 001 somewhere off killing folks. James Bond will still be James Bond. This actress will be taking on the moniker, and she may not keep it. She may get it in the movie at some point. You know, Bond gets disemboweled or whatever, and get it, and get it back. But yeah, because a lot of people were getting pissed because she's a black British lady, and which didn't help things. You know, people were pissed off about, oh, she's a black woman taking over James Bond. You know, but yeah, that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way that people were getting so agitated while giving the wrong information. Had you heard anything about this at all? Or?
I had not. This is news to me.
Yeah. I think it's cool. I'm really anxious to see how she, how she ties in. Because that'll be the big, I mean, they're good at storytelling. It's James fucking Bond, Right. But yeah, I love James Bond, especially Daniel Craig movies. We still have not done a Bond episode, but
it's like we might have to.
Yeah. Well, for this one. But it's I just want to clear the air on that, and looking forward to see what they do there. Sir, we did an episode with podcasting buddies Paul from the Countdown Movie and Review podcast. It was a Mad Max episode. And it has since been announced that not only is there going to be another Mad Max movie, there are 2 stories done already for those movies, but the fucking studios are holding them up. Which I don't understand. After how amazing and successful Fury Road was, why wouldn't you want that out as fast as you possibly can?
Exactly.
Actually, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. There are 2 stories, both involving Mad Max and also a Furiosa story. Yeah. So, yeah. But yeah, looking forward to that, and hopefully they get out of studio limbo here shortly, because dear Lord, it makes no freaking sense. And I do want to pop up this last story here. They will normally do 3, but Vin Diesel put out that there is the Riddick 4 script is finished. What did you think of that last Riddick? The last
it was closer to Pitch Black, so that I liked about it. I think that's kind of where that kind of needs to stay on that level, as opposed to the Chronicle. Yeah. Chronicle, I think, was maybe just a tad bit too much. It was still an entertaining movie, but I feel like that more grounded, like Pitch Black, and then the last one was like where they need to kind of stay.
Yes, for sure. Because Chronicles went. Look, this world is massive, which is cool.
I think they just went too far, too fast, I think, for people that want to really believe.
Holy shit. It was fucking my bad, people. There's more entertainment news because it was San Diego Comic-Con last weekend, and dear Lord, did the trailers and announcements pour out of everywhere.
Yes.
The biggest of which, in my opinion, Mahershala Ali is Blade. Ooh, buddy. And Mr. Wesley Snipes has given his blessing. Not that he needed to, but he told all the daywalkers, which I guess is what he calls his fans, to calm down. It's cool. My brother handled it. Another big news out of there, Portman returns for Thor, Love and Thunder. And in my opinion, I think they should have kept it quiet, but apparently she will be Thor at some point in that movie. With that being released, though, you got to think they have something else bigger under their sleeve.
Yeah, they would have to, because that's pretty big. I mean, if it happens in the comic books, that's fine, because you never know if it's going to make it to the movies. But then go ahead and just give away that big of a thing. Seems like I don't know why they did that. They must have something bigger, or they just couldn't keep it contained. Maybe it leaked somewhere, and they just couldn't. They wanted to tell it before somebody else did.
And at one point, she was done with Marvel. She said she hated it, and they must have backed up a truckload
of money. Yeah. Plus she gets to hold the hammer. I mean, who doesn't want to hold the hammer?
Exactly. No, but anything exciting out of Comic-Con for you?
Oh, that pretty much the Thor thing. I thought that was pretty cool. I was excited to see that just because I'm familiar with the character. So
yes,
that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, we got the entire slate of Marvel released. Phase 3 we got. Sadly, Guardians will not be until Phase 4. Thank you for that one, Disney, because James Gunn is like, sorry, doing Suicide Squad 2. And he's not going to rush that, so I get that. S.H.I.E.L.D. is ending. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is ending at season 7. A lot of Disney stuff. I mean, I guess they own...
Well, they own everything, so yeah, of course it would all be all about Disney.
DC didn't really put out a lot of info.
I'm kind of sad about that, because I feel like Marvel needs a DC.
Yes, yin and yang.
It just needs that. And so I'm kind of sad that DC isn't picking up the pace.
Yeah, and maybe they did. They just got overshadowed, but I didn't see anything big, come out on my radar. But anyway, now that will bring us to trailers. You first or me, sir?
Go ahead.
I'm going to break all the mold. I'm going to ruin trailers forever because of what I'm about to do. My trailer is not a movie trailer and is, in fact, something from DC, but I counted it towards HBO more because it's their property. It's what they're doing. The Watchmen HBO series trailer. My God, shut up and take my subscription money, HBO. Apparently, it's starting right after the Watchmen movie took place. Dr. Manhattan has ostracized himself to Mars. Asmodeus is sitting behind some desk. Apparently, he's in some kind of higher power, which of course he would be. He's the smartest man in the world in that universe, Apparently, there's a street mob that has taken over the moniker of Rorschach, and like they're all like I guess rising back up to show superheroes aren't dead or whatever, and the cops kind of to counteract that because cops are getting targeted at their homes, start wearing masks, and it creates this whole conflict. Have you seen this trailer?
Yes, I have.
Oh, what'd you think, man? I thought it was fantastic.
Not bad. I mean, going from comic to movie to now like TV show, it pretty interesting to see that actually happen. I'm more a fan of the graphic novel, and the movie wasn't exactly like the graphic novel, but it was close enough that I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that movie is one of my favorite comic book movies.
Quite thoroughly. So show I'm gonna wait until I see it before I make a decision, but because I like the other two so much. I gotta
Here's my thing though. HBO, when it comes to shows, they're basically little cinematic movies. Little 45 minutes, some 60-minute movies, like especially if they go as long as Game of Thrones did. So, and they don't shy away from gritty in HBO.
No, they do not.
So I with those two things in the back of my head and knowing the Watchmen IP like I do, I'm excited. But enough about my trailer. Sir, yours.
I'm gonna surprise you with this one. This is a movie trailer. First, I want to say I am not a fan of. I don't say I hate it, but I'm not a fan of Top Gun. I don't think it's. I understand what it is, and it's cool. You got he's in it. Everybody's favorite actor, I guess, almost. But I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of it. It was more like I expected to see more planes and fighting and whatever, but it was more just kind of a romance thing, and with just like all of his other movies. So I'm not a huge fan of that. However, I will say this. I don't mind the idea of it. And now seeing the trailer for the second one that's coming out after all these years, Top Gun 2 Maverick,
yes.
I am, for some odd reason, despite not being a super fan of the first one, super hyped to see this. I think it looks pretty cool. The shots are beautiful of him in the jet. It's just ridiculous how they can almost make you feel like you're in there with him or experiencing it from that height. And then as well, I want to see where they take a story that started so long ago and how they're going to keep it relevant, and continue to tell his story. That's what fascinates me the most, is just seeing his story. I'm not really telling you nothing about the trailer, I guess, but I'm just, you could go watch it for yourself and make up your own mind. I think it's just going to be cool seeing something. 80s is my favorite decade, so seeing something that happened, so long ago, moving up to now, I want to see that transition. I think it's going to be a fun ride to witness.
Yeah, that one, I gotta admit, I got the same feels in my gut, even though sadly, I don't know what it is that it wasn't for me. The first one, I don't hate it, but yeah, even though I felt that way about that first one, I was like, oh my God, look at this.
I feel like I was maybe too young. I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't into that sort of, or I just didn't like watching romances at the time. Maybe I was just more into action movies at that time in my life, but I don't know. I just wasn't a huge fan of that one.
And I've only seen it the one time, never revisited. I've only seen it in my childhood, so maybe that is a issue. That could be, could be a thing. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, Robert, are you ready?
Yes.
Watchbot, if you wouldn't mind.
After getting attacked on the street, Casey enlists in a local dojo that's led by a charismatic and mysterious sensei. He soon uncovers a sinister fraternity of violence and masculinity while learning how to defend himself. Casey must now embark on a dark and frightening journey that places him squarely in the sights of his enigmatic new mentor. It is directed and written by Riley Stearns. It stars Jesse Eisenberg, Alessandro Nivola, and Imogen Poots. Hi, your bitches.
Thank you, Watchbot. Son of a bitch and bitch. Son of a bitch and bitch, the art of self-defense, ladies and gentlemen. Jesse Eisenberg, director Riley Stearns, writer of the same name. Wow. Wow is what I'm going to say to this movie, because we did a trailer, and I may throw the trailer sold episode at the front of this or at the end of it of this, and we didn't know what to think really of the trailer because the trailer, like I think I pointed out last week with Crawl, did a little like surprising thing. And I think we want to save the second half of this movie for a little bit later before we get deep into it. We want to, ease into it like they did. Right. Man. So I just want to start by saying the choice in dialogue here, the way they delivered their lines was very odd.
Yes.
Hello, how are you doing today? I am, it was very like purposely corny. I don't know if that was a purposeful thing or what, but
absolutely.
It was off-putting.
Did you dislike it? Did you thought it was off-putting? I thought it was entertaining to see that level of commitment and playing a part. Everybody playing their parts in that manner. It was so off. They stuck to the offbeat thing, and they ran with it. So I didn't mind it so much.
Sure did. So this story is about a young lad who Jesse Eisenberg's character. It's Jesse Eisenberg. Let's talk about him a little bit. I don't hate the guy.
No, I don't like him in a lot of parts, but I think he found the right part in this particular movie. And
that's the thing about him. I think we mentioned in that Trailer Shows episode, that guy is designed for a certain role.
Yeah.
And there's certain actors who are. And that's not a diss toward them. That's not a detriment. When you see them in other things, you kind of cringe. Lex Luthor. But
I can't really offhand think of somebody who could have played a better Casey in this movie than him.
Michael Cera maybe.
Yeah, even then, that's like not. I feel like Jesse would have done a better job. Sorry.
I used to confuse those two so often, and they don't look alike at all. They just have the same mannerisms. But yeah, he perfect for this role. I can't see anybody else doing what he pulled off in this role. That self-doubt, the kind of jitteriness, kind of feminism.
Yeah, he plays weak and meek really, really well, and nervous and just scared. But then he can turn it around and become scary. It's weird how he can go from that just almost like, sorry to say, like, you this pathetic thing. It's like, pick yourself up, dude. Say it with your chest. That kind of guy. Yeah. And then he turns into this monster. It's just like, oh my god, that's good stuff.
Is why I think they may have cast him as Lex, but it just didn't play well with Lex. Because that's kind of Lex. Lex comes off not as weak, but as a well-mannered. Here, this is me. Take it, but then he can be dark if he wants to. But yeah, there's no doubt, and that he's perfect in this, and the same for Zombieland and movies like that. But yeah. He plays a kid who's weak, meek, and he gets attacked in the street by this motorcycle gang, beaten within an inch of his life, and left stranded. But then he was he an insurance accountant, right?
He worked at some type of a business where he did the accounting for him.
Yeah, which is in itself hilarious.
Yeah.
So he goes into the break room, and there's three guys sitting there. And they're having a conversation in that awkward style. Well, what did you do today? I did this today. Oh, well, that is awesome. Like, everything's so pronounced and so... I don't know how to describe it, but he walks up and tries to get it. And they say they're going to what? They want to throat punch the manager, and they want to burn his house down. And he's like, "Oh no," because he's friends with the manager. "Please don't burn his house down. His wife, I think, just had a new baby. In fact, I know she just had a new baby." And then they're like, "You're the one who audits our expense reports, right? Get the fuck out." I
think the whole movie has a theme of wanting to play up the ridiculousness of masculinity in a way.
Yes, for sure.
Like, so I think that scene especially kind of like grounds that point. Like they're saying like what they're saying about masculinity. But I think we missed an important part of the movie. The first part of the movie is when he's in that little cafe and these two French people come in. And they're like talking, they're speaking in French, and they're talking, how bad the coffee is and how all the food is crap. And he's just sitting there listening to them, pretending to read the paper when he's actually listening to what they're saying because he's learning French, which they don't know that, which in a way is kind of diabolical because it shows how intelligent this person is. Mm-hmm. And sneaky and almost, I don't want to say conniving, but he definitely has a brain. He may not have the brawn, but he's definitely got some smarts. And I think that's an important. At first, that scene confused me because they don't really bring it up later in the movie. But then I kind of, I think that's what they were going for. They were showing his intelligence. For
sure. Yeah, these two French people were just degrading him in the foreign tongue because they just assumed he didn't understand them. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, what happens then? After he gets beat up, he realizes, hey, I need to learn how to defend myself. And he goes into this karate class with this very intense sensei. And his name is Casey Davis, which is the sensei really informs him that that's a very feminine sounding name. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he sees this martial arts class. He sits in and watches it, and he's just enthralled. And he realizes, hey, that's what I want to do. I need to learn how to protect myself, and karate is the way to do it. And after he got beat within an inch of his life, he takes time off. His boss, I guess, is best friends with him, so he leaves these. And even his answering machine is like deprecating to him. Because it goes, you have only one person have left you a message, and he listens to the message. No one else has left you. That's when she's don't talk that way.
They should.
You have no friends. But yeah, he goes into this karate class, and then that's when the action happens. He loves it. He gets kicked in the chest. They teach you how to punch with your feet and kick with your hands. Which I was so confused when that was said. But which I guess is why I'm not a karate master. We get told that the sensei, or the original master of this dojo, which I love this story, was killed in an accidental hiking accident, right? In a hiking accident. And you think, oh, okay, he must have fell off a mountain, tripped or something, because the way it's worded, an accidental hiking death. But then you realize he was mistaken for a goat or something, and shot in the face. That's not an accidental hiking accident. I'm sorry. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, if you can't tell. Sadly, I was the only person in my theater, and my laughter was alone. And they probably were up in the projector booth, like, God, he's nuts. This isn't that funny. What's wrong with this guy? But yeah, the sensei sees something in him. Well, I guess we know what this, later. What he sees in him. But yeah, I guess we might as well get into spoiler territory. I know we've been spoiling things, but up until this point, this is what you see in the trailer. This meat guy needs to learn how to defend himself, which I love that that's all they showed in the trailer, because what this movie turns into, I was not prepared for. I was not at all prepared for. So he learns about a night class, and this is where the tough boys go to, which I'm not a tough boy, Robert. I think I've mentioned that before. The tough boys go to this class. This is where they teach the heavy stuff. You were saying something about what they should have done in the trailer? I'm sorry.
No, the trailer, I think it gave away one thing that I wish they had, because I figured a part of the movie out that I wish I hadn't figured out. I wish it was more of a reveal to me. It's just showing the female in the trailer. When you see the initial scene in the beginning of the movie where he gets chased by the guys in the helmets, and then there's a girl there's a person standing there in a helmet. It clearly looked like a girl to me inside of that suit.
Gotcha.
Then I realized that was probably the girl from the
class.
Yeah. So then I realized it just was all just a scheme. That kind of didn't necessarily ruin the movie for me, but I feel like I figured out something
that should have been a secret.
I wish it would have been revealed, and and like been more of a shock to me.
Gotcha. But he goes to this night class. He meets the girl that Robert mentioned, who's teaching kids at this point. He makes a friend in the day class, who tells him that night class is for whatever, special people, better people, and he wants to go there desperately. This person he meets wants to go to night class. Jesse Eisenberg does not want to go to night class because that means he has to go out at night, which he's terrified of since he got the life beat out of him. Well, the sensei chooses him to go to night class because he quote unquote sees something in him, and he goes there, his first night class, and the guy who thought he was going to get into night class doesn't, but he shows up there anyway, and the first of the shockers for me happens as the sensei's like, "You come up here." The guy who snuck in the class, the guy goes up to him. He's like, "Your elbow can be was built a certain way, blah, blah, blah. And it's built this way, which is flawed. And I'm going to demonstrate how." And he commences to shatter the guy's elbow. Oh my God, my jaw dropped, man. Did this not catch you off guard in the theater?
No, I saw that coming. I completely saw that coming. This went from a happy little Napoleon Dynamite-ish movie to holy shit, people are getting their arms broken. It gets violent quick, I think.
Yes. It goes from 15 to 98 very quickly. In a good way, though. Yes. I was pleasantly surprised to see this turn. And because from then on, the deviousness and the violence does not stop.
Yeah. And again, I don't think there was a lot of action. I don't want to confuse people to think that this is just full of all kinds of just crazy, kung fu and bones being broken. It's fairly, for most people, I think they will find it pretty slow. Yeah. I don't think a lot of people would necessarily be able to handle the pace of this movie, but when it does give you those moments, because of the slowness, you kind of get a different reaction because you're not getting bombarded with all the action scenes.
Yeah. It's like you're reading a normal book, but all of a sudden there's somebody put a pop-up page in there.
Right.
You just don't expect it. But yeah, somebody gets their nose beaten.
That was a great scene. I love that fight. It was about that, destroying that whole masculine image. Mm-hmm. So, that was a great fight just to see it.
Yeah.
And there's a couple shocking moments. I don't know if you want to. Yeah. If I want to actually ruin it for people or not, and let them see it themselves. But I'll give you one of them, for instance, was there was a after the night class they have a cool down moment, and it freaked me out. This one freaked me out more so than the elbow being broken, because all of a sudden everybody starts taking their clothes off. I'm like, okay, they're gonna relax or something, and then the dude just completely depantses. Yeah. There's this wang. You're sitting there like, what's about to happen? What's going on? It's like you don't know if there's about to be a big gay orgy or what's about to. It kind of scared me. I was like, what? But then no, everybody just starts stretching, and it's like, but why did you have to get naked to do that, bro? I don't understand.
And they're not supposed to disrespect the mat. I think bare ass disrespects Matt.
That's worse than food and water and shoes in my book.
But yeah. And you learn some things about the female of the class, the only female of the class, and that scene. And
That was another one. Yeah, I felt like. Did you feel like something bad was going to happen to her?
Yes.
I felt like something really bad was going to happen to her when he took the other guy back there and was like, everybody, all of us had to do it once. So and he's like, I'm like, what? Oh no, not again. After the initial shock of the naked guy, now we get this scene implying that something's really bad is about to happen there. I'm like, oh no, not. And then you see what plays out. So
once again, yeah, that applies to what you were saying about masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
Like the sensei saw it as such a shame to have to change and de-stress in the woman's locker room, like
because her hands were apparently so much weaker, and she wouldn't be able to get a good massage from her. And you just watch her beat the crap out of a black belt.
Yeah,
she's a brown belt. So and the sensei gives a line that just was so ridiculous that I laughed. He goes, I was thinking about it the other day. She'll never be a black belt. I realize it's her being a woman that will never allow her to be a man. It's just like, huh? What?
Which the sensei, that guy was great. I loved his act, the way he portrayed clearly knows what he's doing. He has this devious undertone to him. That guy played that role fantastically. Mm-hmm. Everybody did. This movie I thought was, I can't believe it. It's only shown in one theater in town and 5 showings, if that. You got to kind of sneak in to see it when you see it. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm gonna go ahead and say go watch. I mean, for me,
an early go watch.
Yeah, because good Lord, I there's so much about this movie I enjoyed. And then I don't know how much we want to reveal, but what was spoiled for Robert was not spoiled for me, so that was a pleasant surprise as well. Yeah, I don't know, man. Then the dog stuff.
Oh man, I want to know how a veterinarian can tell that a dog's been punched
with his foot.
It looks like he's been punched, but
not with a fist, with a foot.
Yeah,
and this is the tiniest dog, right. little dachshund.
I'm glad he got a nick in though and bit the guy's wrist. I'm glad.
Sure. And Jesse did kind of go wick after that. So
yeah, that's what happens. Don't mess with people's dogs, folks, because people will turn into John Wicks.
I mean, there's so much we're skipping over, so many good parts. Like when the sensei is trying to teach him how to be a man, how to think like a man, think more masculine.
Yeah, you gotta listen to heavy metal.
Listen to metal, yeah. The dachshund wasn't good enough. He's like, what kind of dog do you have? He's like, oh, it's a German dog. It's a dachshund. He's like, oh. But yeah. And then he gets to a German shepherd and leaves a note saying, if you're not the alpha, I'll rip your throat out of your sleeve.
In a way, he kind of sort of is like the perfect foil for this guy to become who he needs to be happy, in a way. I mean, he needed to meet this guy, this level of evil, basically, for him to overcome his shortcomings.
Yeah, that's kind of true. It kind of, as much as that sucks, that he had to basically go through hell, lose his best friend, and get the crap beat out of him just to become this new. But he did go overboard for a second there, because he in fact did throw punches.
I was impressed when he karate chopped the side of the truck and knocked the side view mirror off.
And freaking kicked the tire.
Yeah, I was like, what is he turning into? Holy crap. And he couldn't break a board earlier.
Yeah. I'm pleasantly surprised. Any big points you want to dive into, sir?
Oh, the whole movie basically is it's just a treat. I'll admit it's offbeat too, and some people won't really want to sit through that, and it might be a little slow for some people, but it's so rewarding by the time you get to the end. It's I don't know. I think it was just it was ballsy. I mean, people aren't really making films like this, and so seeing something like this is so refreshing to be like, thank you for giving us something original. Yeah, I think I read a comment somewhere somebody was like, I'm going to try to make the opposite of the Karate Kid, and, make people, because Karate Kid is like such a feel good movie. And this one's like, it doesn't. I mean, it's like. I mean,
it kind of is. Like if you, because sometimes everyone feels like him, helpless. Mm-hmm. So That is kind of a slap in the face to it.
I think it just hits all the right chords. So I think it's if you're into offbeat, this will definitely be up your alley.
Yeah, like Lost in Translation, was it 500 Days of Summer? Mm-hmm. That one with Natalie Portman and the guy from Scrubs that I can't think of the name of it.
Right.
Super good movie. Like those type of movies, like this is your jam. A little more violent than those, but
just a little bit.
Rotten Tomatoes, though, agrees with us. The people who've seen this movie, 84% tomato meter out of that's a total count of 130 reviews, 63 audience score out of 346 reviews. So, that's pretty damn good, seeing as how The Lion King's at 53% rotten right. But yeah, it's so refreshing to get to see an original movie in this day and age where people are afraid to make original movies, and inspiring. I really love seeing stuff like this. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go. Like I already said, go watch for me for sure. Jesse Eisenberg has a new fan. I've re-fanned up. I had lost hope with Lex Luthor, but I'm back. Not that he needs me, but what about you, sir?
Yep, I am definitely go watch. I mean, it's something different, and I think we need things that are different. And it's the perfect thing after something like, those huge blockbusters where you just get overwhelmed with everything that happens, and then you get to watch something like this where you get to think a little bit and just enjoy and chuckle. So, yep, go watch.
Yeah, and once again, we didn't spoil everything, so if you stuck through the spoilers, there's still so much more in this movie to see and enjoy. But yeah, that's freaking The Art of Self-Defense. Where you can find us. You can find us at gowatchmovie.com. Most of the news stories I talked about are up there. I'll get the trailers up there. Well, Watchmen trailer probably won't go because I'm normally stick with movie trailers, but the Watchmen trailer is on the socials. I'll get Maverick's up there already. This is the danger zone, motherfuckers. Where you said you didn't see Val Kilmer?
Not really, because I know he's not, at his best right now, from what I know.
Yeah, I've seen a couple clips of him.
It's all right. I mean, it was more. Yeah, it'll be okay.
It's going to be in Jay and Silent Bob the reboot.
Yes.
As Blunt Man. But yeah, yes, that's everything today. Oh, go like and subscribe on the socials, Instagram, Facebook, and all that. Much appreciated. YouTube, we put up the podcast sound on there. And anywhere podcasts can be found is where you can find us, as well as gowatchmovie.com. That's all for episode 94. I'm Kelvin.
And I'm Robert.
Go watch a movie. Kick punch noises inserted here.